something's going to have to give, though. But as of right now, man, it looks like that at least Rozzy is not going to take this laying the fuck down. And whatever happened that day in the chambers seemed to be complete fucking bullshit. And like what she's saying, right? They back there in the actual chambers. Oh, they've decided to step down. No, Rozzy sure as hell didn't, right? He's like fighting this thing tooth and nail. The whole thing was literally a lie right there to everybody.
That's exactly what the thing was. And there's two camps here. You know, there's the camp that's like, okay, these guys, whether it was reckless or intentional, and I take umbrage with that because there's a massive difference. If Baldwin would have intentionally leaked the photographs, that's a completely different thing than some guy that worked in his office for years, betrayed his trust, snuck in there and took pictures and then leaked them months later. You know, that's a completely different thing than Andy Baldwin saying, hey, man, come here, bro. I want to give you these pictures. I need you to slip them out to some people. I want them to get out to the public, which never would happen. You know, I've heard this argument that they're doing it so that they can try to show the public that what they were saying in the memo about the runes is true. The problem with that theory is that included in those photographs are the bodies of the girls, which if you ask any defense attorney anywhere that's ever handled a murder case, that is absolutely ridiculous, because the last thing that we ever want to get out to the public are photographs of the victims, because all it does is incite the public to call for whoever they have under arrest's head, because they think the guy's a monster. It's like it's completely implausible that they would do that. They would be submarining their case. They wouldn't be bolstering their case. So that concept I reject completely, just because it doesn't make any sense. It's not how it works. We fight to keep those out. We fight to try to limit those photographs being shown at trial, because they inflame the jury. You know, they're more prejudicial than probative is the argument. That's the instruction, or that's the objection. So, you know, to think that would be the case, to me, is obscene. You know, and I personally, yes, I'm biased in terms of the fact that I am a criminal defense attorney, but I take umbrage with the fact that people just seem to be able to cast shade on defense attorneys.
That's a pretty
no problem
thing.
with no problem. But everyone takes giant offense if anybody suggests that a prosecutor is doing something untoward. That's crazy.
Bullshit.
They take the exact same oath that we do. They work for the government. We work for the people. It's backwards. Yeah. Everybody should be rooting for the defense attorneys, because forget about that we're representing the bad guy. What we're doing is we're protecting the Constitution, because most of the time things are pled out. Most of the time, like 97% of cases do not go to trial. So that is the reality of jurisprudence in this country. Like, the concept that everything is going to trial is completely wrong. That's just not factual. Most of the time, cops do their jobs well. They have the evidence. The criminal screwed up, and they plead out on it and they go to prison. That's most of the time. When you get the cases where the cops break the law, they violate the Constitution, they violate somebody's Fourth Amendment rights, you have a defense attorney who says, okay, well, I have to protect the Fourth Amendment as to all of us. Okay. It's the wall that separates us, the citizens, from the government and from them, like, ruling us. This becoming a fascist society. We have to have the Constitution. It's our last line of defense. We are the last line of defense, literally, against government tyranny. And like, I'm not being dramatic about it. Like, that we're literally the only people on the planet that defend the principles of the Constitution. So when we file a motion to suppress, to try to keep something, a violation of the law from going unpunished, and the punishment just happens to be, okay, Mr. Police Officer, who did a warrantless search without probable cause, without seeing anything in plain sight, you violated the Constitution. So unfortunately, we're going to have to take that piece of evidence that you collected illegally, and we're going to have to remove it from the case. It's suppressed. Typically, it's the main piece of evidence that caused the person to get arrested, which means that person walked. Don't blame the defense attorney. Don't blame the criminal. Blame the cop for not following the law. If the cop would have done the law right, we don't have a motion to suppress to file. It's that simple. Without teeth, then the thing doesn't matter. Then they're doing whatever they want. If we don't file the motions, then cops are kicking our doors in.
It's easy. Oh, sorry, but it's easy for that ball to get down the hill pretty fast too.
Dude, snowball, it's very super slippery slope, man.